What's up, everybody? It's Professor Gnome, and today we're going to be looking at Regidrago VSTAR and its Apex Dragon attack. This is a deck that I've been sleeping on a lot. Like, I haven't paid much mind to, but I saw that it was picking up with Cherum a little bit, and overall was just kind of performing really well lately. And so I thought I'd check it out and kind of edit a list together a little bit. We're losing a couple things after rotation that I think makes this deck very good, but I don't think we're losing anything that makes the deck unplayable post-rotation, and I actually think this is a pretty good post-rotation build outside of the fact that we will be losing things like Duraludon VMAX, and we're going to be losing Path to the Peak. Path you don't really need in the deck, it's just nice to have, and same thing with Duraludon, we don't need it in the deck, but it's going to be something that like is kind of nice just because its 220 damage number is pretty consistent and kind of nice to be able to just hit and not really have too many issues with. But we can supplement that with just using something like the Rolling Iron attack, or some other dragon that gets released in the future, or 9 out of 10 times we're just using Lost Impact anyway, so it doesn't really matter. One other thing that I did have in this list that I haven't seen a ton of people running is the Dragonite. The reason why I like to run Dragonite is for Energy Hurricane. It hits for 180, which is okay, typically just setting up a 2-shot on something, but the real part of it that's really good is it allows us to search our deck for up to 3 basic energy cards and attach them to our Pokemon any way we want. The reason why this is super good is that we sometimes will be in a situation where we were able to use our Arceus to set up one Regidrago VSTAR, but after that we're kind of left to manually attach and kind of work our way through that way. And so a lot of times what I'll be able to do is that if I have a Regidrago that's about to be knocked out, I can use the Energy Hurricane attack and set up a second one in the bench, then come in and get the knockout since we already set it up into it KO range, and play from there. The other important thing to note before we get into the game is that you can use Lost Impact, and the 2 energy you have to discard. You can discard the double turbo energies you've attached to Arceus in the past, making it very easy to fulfill the energy requirement needed for that attack. In terms of supporters, the only main thing we're running is we're running 4 Professor's Research just to be able to get all of our dragons in the discard. Then we're running things like Judge and Iono to combo alongside Path, really just to stun our opponent while we continue to just drop attacks down and pick the right attack for whatever scenario we're in. We also run Ditto. This is just essentially a 5th copy of Arceus V because we want that in our active on turn 1 no matter what. So on our second turn, we can get into Arceus VSTAR, since that's going to be the main way that we win every game. And if we can't get into that, the deck struggles a little bit. But yeah, so that's going to be the main thing. We'll get into the games in a second. Just let me know in the comments how you would edit the deck, how you would change things, and how you would play it a little differently, because I've seen some variations of the build, but I kind of think this is the best way to go as of right now. Post-rotation, like I said, we'll lose a couple cards, but nothing too dramatic that I think is going to affect us too much, so I'm curious to see what the changes will be post-rotation. But I think this deck's actually in a really, really good position. So definitely let me know what you think of the list. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff, and I'll see you guys in Game 1. Peace. Alright, we're into the game. Our opponent's choosing to go first. We got our Arceus set up, which is pretty good. We got Arceus in a double turbo. If we could get into the Regidrago V, that would be super ideal. We'll have to see what we open into, though. Looks like we're up against Charizard. Charizard's a little awkward because we can't actually knock it out in a single hit. Really, Charizard is the main thing holding this deck back, since fighting into Charizard is kind of not great, since it can knock us out in one hit, but we don't have the ability to knock it out in one hit, and so we kind of have to take the early prize race against either single prizers or getting rid of things like, let's say, we'll have that into hand for now. We'll hoping for Tails here. Awesome. Good 50-50. We'll grab ourselves the Regidrago. We can put that on board. We get Trinity here. And then I don't think we want to judge. I think we'll just hold on to that for now. Just because judging, it may hurt them slightly, but it really just gives them one more card to work with. Potentially they could have, you know, a really good supporter or something in their hand, but I kind of doubt it based on the fact that they put the single energy onto Manaphy. It could mean that they just want to retreat on the next turn. They could have, like, a Rare Candy Boss or something like that. Or, not Rare Candy Boss, Rare Candy Pidgeot or something like that, but, I think until they play it, or do something with it, there's really no point in judging. There's Tauros. So now there will be, because they're going to go V-Star here. Arceus V-Star, that is. And after the V-Star play, I assume they grab themselves like Rare Candy Pidgeot. I feel like that'd be the right play to make. We'll see what they choose to do. There's Rare Candy. Oh, they went Rare Candy onto Charizard. Yeah, so I don't think that's the right play. And it also means that we definitely don't judge here. I think it means that we just go Arceus VSTAR. Yeah, we go Arceus VSTAR. So that was definitely not the right play on their part. Because they used their V-Star power for, you know, almost no reason. So I think what we do here is we go Arceus V-Star. We go Regidrago V-Star. We attach the Grass Energy. And then what we can actually do is we're going to Starbirth here. We're going to grab ourselves the... What are we going to want? We'll put Duraludon. Yeah. So we're going to do it like that. So we're going to grab ourselves a Research and a Duraludon. We can Ultra Ball away 2 of our, you know, Dragon Pokemon that we are going to want in the discard pile. We can grab ourselves another Regidrago. Put that onto the bench. And now we can Research for a full new 7. And then we'll lay down Path, because it no longer affects us, but it is going to give us the ability to stop them from being able, if they get into like a Pidgeot or something like that, you know, we're going to be able to shut that off. And that's pretty good. We also get the ability to power up thanks to being able to attack a second time with our Arceus. It's going to be able to put us in a pretty good position here. They top deck into Colress, but again, even if they get themselves into a second Charizard, their effect won't activate. And even if they get into Pidgey, their effect won't activate. So they're going to be able to knock that out. Which is fine. We have a second one in the back. There's a double turbo. So what we're going to want to do is place the double turbo down onto the Arceus to allow us to use Lost Impact later. Question is, do we want to hold on to the boss for now? I think we do. I think we just take the knockout here. So, you know, max pull, knock this out, take our 2 prizes. There's Goodra. That's pretty huge. Goodra is the thing that's going to actually allow us to be able to fight back against Charizard. Since we're going to be taking 80 less damage from attacks, we'll be able to kind of win that, you know, attack into attack into attack kind of 2-hit situation much better. Here, it's not really going to matter since, you know, they already got the first attack off. It is what it is. There's not really much we can do. I think we're just going to go ahead and research here. Just flat out. Then we'll Trekking Shoe. There's the path. We don't really need that anymore. But this is what we were really looking for, which is our other Regidrago. So now that's set up. We have Goodra in the discard pile. We can flip. And we'll leave that in the deck, actually. There's really no point in adding it to our hand. It's not going to do us any good. And what we can do now is, in this situation, it won't really matter which one we choose. So we can actually Energy Hurricane here. And we don't have any other energies in the deck, but what we could have done with that, had we had more energy in the deck, is powered up our Arceus V-STAR. And that's also why that attack is good. In this situation, it didn't really make a difference at all. But I just wanted to show the scenario that had we used our Super Rod to put, you know, an energy, like the 2 grass energies back into the deck or something like that, we could use the Energy Hurricane, reset up Arceus V-STAR, and then use that as a method to attack with as well, since we only have 2 Regidrago in the deck, or 2 Regidrago V-STAR rather. Since we only have those 2 in the deck, we sometimes need to rely on another power, like, attacking option, and that's kind of the best one that we have. So they're now down to 2 prize cards. There's 6 cards in hand. We have the ability to get the counter knockout here. It's pretty cool that we drew into Iono. We were going to just judge them anyway, but the Iono works all the same. It's just 2 cards rather than 1. We'll go ahead and throw the other double turbo down. I don't think we're really going to need it, or it's like really going to come up. Yeah, so we'll just go ahead and do that. I was thinking about some other, you know, choices or options, but it's, you know, better to just choose that one. So there's a Judge and another Fire Energy. So we can throw the Fire Energy down on Arceus if we want to. And now we're in a situation where, you know, even if they power this up and attack us, it doesn't really matter. We're just going to Lost Impact and knock this thing out. I think this build of Charizard is, like, probably the worst one. I think you either go Arceus or Pidgeot. You don't do both. I think the Arven build is okay, but I just think objectively we've learned that you probably want to just go the Pidgeot build, like the standard Pidgeot build from before, like an original Obsidian Flame, or you just want to go the Barrel build isn't bad. Personally, I find that the Pidgeot build is just the best build that you can go. Barrel's good, but in the late game, it's just better to be able to Pidgeot yourself right into what you need. Convenient. Speaking of, right, like just what you need, we're gonna go ahead. I do have Giratina in the discard pile, right? I don't remember. I don't think I do. I do not. All right, cool. So what we're gonna do is we'll Ultra Ball away the Switch and the double turbo, grab ourselves Giratina. I almost messed this game up because I couldn't remember. We'll grab ourselves the Noivern just because, and now we can Lost Impact. I thought Giratina was already in my discard pile. It was not, so I just had to go and find it. But now we can Lost Impact. 280, easy damage number to hit. We get rid of 1 double turbo, and problem solved. So that's going to be game 1. Pretty easy. Our opponent got, you know, not the best play. I think they kind of threw the game very early. Choosing to get rid of their hand like that wasn't super great. They definitely should have went with the supporter option when they used their V-STAR power with Arceus. And so, like, not choosing to do that definitely put them behind. But that's going to be game 1, so definitely let me know what you think of the deck so far, and we'll go into game 2. See you there. Alright, we're into game 2. We're going to be going first this time around. Not a very great opening hand, again, which is pretty unlucky. But we'll try to make it work. We have the double turbo, we have the grass energy, so we can get a power edge off in the rare scenario that matters. And we can get... Okay, so the Ultra Ball here is kind of nice. I don't know. So we want to get rid of those, like, objectively. I think getting the Arceus V-Star for next turn is probably the best choice, and then just getting a slower Regidrago. I think that's the best choice to make. We'll play the energy down. We'll hold off on the path to the peak, only because we're going to need to make sure we can guarantee our V-Star power on the next turn. And then I think what we'll do is we'll Starbirth, grab ourselves a Drago and a... grab ourselves a Drago and a Research. And I think that's... Then we'll play the path and go from there. I think that's going to be the best play for us. It looks like our opponent got a little bit of an awkward start, or little awkward opening, but nothing incredibly bad, but not anything very good either. Potentially playing the path would have been very, very big to stop any momentum they had at all, but it seems like they didn't get anything, which is definitely unlucky for our opponent. That's not what we love to see. We'll definitely Starbirth here. And like I said, we're going to grab ourselves the Regidrago and the Research. Get all that set up. We'll spin the Pokestop, because if we lose anything, it doesn't really matter. Alright, we lost a Research, a double turbo, and Dragonite going into the discard pile is pretty good for us. We can go ahead and lay that on the path here now that it doesn't really matter for us, and we can Research. We got ourselves a Regidrago again, that's pretty good, and we'll add the Fire Energy to our hand, why not? And then from here, we can kind of just hold out. We'll Trinity Nova, knock out the Morpeko, and attach triple energies onto one of the Dragos. Doop. Sorry about the random cough. Kind of jump scared you there a little bit. So we have double fire. It's a little awkward. The convenient part about this is we can just Trinity Nova and knock this thing out immediately. This is why I don't play Roaring Moon, by the way. I just think it's way too bricky. Where... Well, that's annoying. We'll evolve onto this one, because why not? Evolve onto that one. We'll play the Fire Energy down. We'll discard this and the other Ultra Ball. Grab ourselves the other Regidrago, just to kind of evolve that into place. And then I think we just Judge here, looking for our Switch. We found it, because we're absolutely never punished. We'll switch, go into Regidrago, and end the game. What would be the most fun to end it with? End it with Energy Hurricane, even though there's like no energy left in our deck. Again, just to prove a point. So we'll just throw that down on that, why not? Alright, so pretty easy game 2, but pretty uneventful. It's the main reason why I don't play Roaring Mooniacs. It's like, if you pop off, you just win immediately. But if you don't, you just straight up lose. And I just don't think Roaring Moon's actually very good. Which is sad, only because it was one of the cards I was so excited for, and I also thought was going to be completely broken on release. But it turned out it's okay at best. I mean, it's climbing up the ladder right now, but I still don't think it's very good. So we'll do one more just because that was a pretty uneventful game. So I'll see you guys in game 3. Alright, we're into the last game. Our opponent's going to be going first. We have a kind of awkward hand here. Let's hope we pull something off the Trekking Shoes. I've gotten pretty good luck off Trekking Shoes, so it shouldn't be too bad. We'll be able to Trinity Charge right away, so that's, you know, going to be okay for us, provided we get into, like, Regidrago or something. If we don't and we get into a second Arceus, then I think we just power that up as well. We retreat, go Arceus V-Star, attack for 200, and kind of keep it pushing that way, looking for just some quick prize cards. Yeah, I think that's probably going to be the best play. They open nothing. That's, I mean, obviously good for us, but kind of annoying. We'll take the Regidrago. That's pretty sweet. Don't really want that in hand at this point. Super odd. That's kind of cute. We'll be able to put the grass energy back in. We'll just Trinity Charge here. Grab ourselves 3 energy out the deck, thinning that out a little bit, and preparing our Regidrago V. And we'll pass the turn back to them. Also, I guess I should say this now. If the audio's been a little bit low and like a little bit weird in this video, I'll probably put it in the description or like in a comment before this, so that way, you know, for everybody who doesn't make it this far, because not everybody does. What's it called? You know, I'll explain it, but the reason why this video was like, you know, kind of quiet and stuff like that, or maybe it didn't even come out that way, but as I'm recording it right now, I guess I'll talk about it, because I haven't watched the footage back. But if the video comes out like a little bit quiet and stuff like that, don't worry, you know, nothing bad happened with my settings or anything. Again, we're you know, not worried about any of that. Pretty much my girlfriend was just really sick today, and so she was sleeping in the bedroom that is very close to where I record, so I wanted to be a little bit quiet. Just I had to record now if I was going to get this video out, you know, at a somewhat regular schedule. And so I just kind of was quiet while she was asleep, and now if you hear some rumbling or some weird sound in the background, it's she's in the shower. And so that's what that sound is. I don't think it's coming up though. I checked the audio and stuff like that, and it didn't seem like that was an issue. But, you know, who knows, right? So we're going to go ahead and Starbirth here. And what we're going to do is we're going to grab ourselves the Regidrago V. And we're going to grab ourselves the Iono. The reason why we're grabbing the Iono is that pretty much nothing here works for us. And they're going to be able to get, you know, a whole new set of cards anyway, so judging them won't matter. There was nothing that we really wanted to discard. So it's all going to be the same for them as it is for us. It's really not going to make much of a difference. We'll throw that in the discard pile, so that way that's activated. We have another Arceus. We don't really need that. We'll play down the path just, you know, to stop Gardevoir, you know, EX when that becomes relevant. And we'll grab ourselves 2 energy. Put those onto our Regidrago. We have the other grass in hand, so that'll be powered up. And we can always judge them on the next turn when they go and, you know, build up a whole hand and things like that. So there's the Ultra Ball. That'll get us... We can get rid of the 2 Arceus if we want to. And get ourselves into our last Regidrago V-Star. We'll be able to knock out Cleva. That's fine. Rolts. The other thing, too, what we're really looking for is that we want to make sure we get Goodra into the discard pile as fast as possible, since the ability for Goodra to, or to use Goodra's attack, rather, that's totally fine with us. The ability to use Goodra's attack to remove 80 damage is pretty massive for us at the end of the day, since... it'll put us outside of being KO'd by Gardevoir pretty easily. And then what we could actually end up doing as well is using Noivern. not because of the stadium effect of it, you know, which is nice, but really what we want it for is the fact that we'll be able to stop them from being able to play special energies, and that's going to come in pretty clutch thanks to the ability to stop them playing stadiums of their own, but mostly just to stop them from being able to play like reversal energies. So we're going to go and switch, get ourselves into Regidrago V, and we'll just judge again, get ourselves 3 more cards, and also just reset their hand. We have another path, that's pretty cool. And from here, we can just Apex Dragon, and yeah, I think for here is just best option. Remove the ability to play special energies and their own stadium cards, just keeping path on the field longer. And what that'll allow us to do is just stop Gardevoir EX from working, which is pretty important for us. There's another Curlius, so they'll be able to keep drawing. The escape rope wouldn't have mattered. I wonder what they can get off the Arven. They could grab a Lost Vacuum and get rid of the Path to the Peak. I don't think there's anything else for them to really grab. Their path, if their Lost Vacuum is in the prize cards, that sucks super hard. Or they're just not running one at all. Which I wouldn't agree with, but it could be what they're doing. But even if they clear it, you know, even if they clear it this turn, it's not going to matter because we can just place another one. Counter Catcher for the last Drago. I think what we do here is I think we just attach. Do we already use our switch? We did, right? Yeah. So we're just looking for another grass energy. Found it, but the odds were pretty good, so that's not shocking. We'll go ahead and Ultra Ball here, get rid of the Duraludon and the Dragonite for the Goodra we're looking for, so that way we can get that discarded sooner rather than later. We can Apex Dragon here. We just need to hit for 150. Yeah, we'll Pulverize. Would have been nice to do something different, but unfortunately that just wasn't really available to us. Which means if they do have a stadium in hand now, they're going to be able to clear the path, but I don't think they do. I think they just don't have an out to path. And not having an out to path is just... that sucks, because our Goodra is going to still be in the discard pot, or in the deck. Alright, so there's their out to path. Hopefully, what can we do? I mean, we'll be able to get the counter KO, so that's not that big a deal, and we're not in a too much of a worry to get knocked out, I'm pretty sure. And even if we do, we get the counter KO, which is fine. We have double turbo available to us. The only issue is that we can't knock out Gardevoir in one hit, and we really need Goodra in order to survive multiple attacks. So we're in kind of an awkward position, but not an inherently bad one. Since we only need 3 attacks to win the game. And we do have a boss in hand. And with all the damage they're putting on themselves, we'll have the ability that, like, any one of our attacks will work. How much is this going to do? I don't remember the math. Does this do enough to do 280? I don't think so, right? Oh, it does just enough for 280. Alright, so don't really love that, but it's not too bad. Little aroma here. We got our Goodra back. It'd be so ideal to be able to discard this Goodra. If we were able to do that, we'd be in a really, really great position. Just unfortunately we can't. We'll keep that Arceus off the board for now. We'll Apex Dragon. And let's see, is there something I'm missing? Ooh, alright, so that could work. So alright, so I think we want a Dragon Laser, and the reason for this is that they won't be in range to knock us out now. Because it does exactly 280 at full health, so they'll be under that threshold, and really, yeah, that's really going to be the main issue. What we could have done is like prevent damage from basics, but then they just snipe the Arceus, so it's not going to matter. So what we want to do is just make sure they can't hit that damage threshold. If we get super lucky, they like play a Zacian or something, and then we can like boss's orders that or something like that. But I think what's going to end up happening here is that they put damage on with Screamtail, we knock that out, then they go into something like some other, like a second Screamtail, or you know, whatever it is they choose to go into, and then put that up. Yeah, so there's the second Screamtail. So in theory they could, they still need another booster energy. So if they have the booster energy capsule, then they'll be able to get into that, knock out Drago. But then we counter with Arceus V-STAR, and then I think we're fine anyway. But really, we just win the game here. Because what we're going to do is boss up something and Dragon Laser again, and then just put 30 damage on this and knock out whatever we want from the active. So this is pretty much game here. Unless I'm counting these numbers off, but I'm pretty sure I'm not. So we'll Trekking Shoe. We'll put the Ultra Ball in the hand. We're just going to get rid of these just to say that we did. Grab Ditto for funsies. Then what we can do is boss's orders up, the other Screamtail. Then we can attack and Dragon Laser. All the way down here at the bottom. Put 30 damage onto one on the bench. Getting rid of both Screamtails at the same time. And making the game pretty easy. And taking the last two prizes without too much of a threat. So that all worked out. There's the other boss and the fire energy. So that all went out pretty well. But yeah, so that's going to be game 3. Definitely let me know. I kind of liked that last game. I thought it was pretty fun. Definitely let me know what you guys think of the list, or how you would change it, or anything like that. I feel like this list is pretty good. Like I said, post-rotation, we'll have to make a couple changes, but nothing too dramatic, I don't feel like. Unless I'm forgetting something that rotates that I'm not aware of, but I think everything's fine. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of YouTube stuff. Make sure to leave your lists in the comments if there's something that you want me to check out, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.